Okay, we are moving into new stuff this week, and single note picking is one of those things. So instead of having drums and backing tracks and all that stuff this time, I'm going to have a fairly simple note pattern, simple rhythm. I just want to see where you can get within the week. Now, big thing. If you are about to attempt, when you're working things up, if you are about to attempt 240, that little thing that's on the screen right there, 240, start recording then and there, right then and there, because you might get it, and then send it over and we'll verify it. And if you get it, you definitely can move on to something more difficult. If you don't get it, that is fine, totally fine. Just get where you can. So I'm going to have you do the old process of start at 60, work it up in fives. Spend about 15 to 20 minutes getting this as fast as you can, going up in fives. And if you max out in less than the 15 to 20 minutes, so let's say you get up to 200 beats per minute in like 10 minutes. And there's no way you're getting any faster than that. So drop it from 200 down to 190, or maybe 180. Either one is fine. So you drop it down 10 or 20 beats per minute, and then you start adding in the repetitions, going for 4 repeats total. And after 3 solid attempts, if you cannot get all 4 repeats, like solid attempts, like if you just start off and you just kind of goof up the first couple of notes, that's not a solid attempt. Actually make a little bit of headway into that thing. After 3 solid attempts, if you can't get it, drop it 10, try again. And then just keep doing that until you can get all 4 repetitions. So we're going to be working on pushing the speed a little bit, build that speed up, and then do some endurance stuff on top of that. So let's just see where you get throughout the week. And again, if you are about to attempt 240 for the first time, or any time really, start recording right then and there, because you might get it and send it on over early. All right. So, yes, let's demonstrate this guy. And we're starting on the high E string because I've learned it's much easier to hear all those notes on the high E string versus the low E string. Now, I used to have everyone do this sort of thing on the low strings first, because for most of us, it is easier to pick fast on the lower strings. But it doesn't sound, or the note articulation is not as good as the high string. So that's where we're starting on the high E string and not the low. So here we go, 60 beats per minute. New number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 180. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And good old 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeats. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay. So we're also going to have you start working on a new chord shape here. But this is going to tie into scale update. We're moving on to diatonic scales, and we're going to do so by adding 2 notes into the pentatonic scale shapes that you got down. Hang on, I'm looking for that right there. Here we go. And Boom. It's A minor scale, or its relative C major scale. So what I got here, what I have set up, is the black dots are the pentatonic scale notes that you learned. The red dots are the new ones. So up here, the B and F, I got those in parentheses so they stand out. So we're adding the B and F note to the A minor pentatonics, which gives us the full diatonic scale. So this is your A natural minor scale right here. This one right here, if you do not play the B note, and you just start on the C note and you go up and down and back to C, that's your C major scale. But I wanted to fill in the pentatonic scales with as many notes as possible. So that's what we have here. So basically this is your C major scale as long as you don't start and stop on the B note. So if you do start and stop on the B note, technically it makes it B low-free, and we'll get more and more into that as we go. So basically, yeah, we just want to get these new shapes down. So technically this would be D Dorian right here. This is going to be E Phrygian here. And we do have F Lydian. That's another mode we're going to work with. So just like the second scale shape here, not using that first note technically gets us another scale. Same thing here. If we do not start with the E and we just start and stop at the F, that makes it F Lydian. When we get back into like 3 note per string scale stuff, this will make a lot more sense and we got a lot more to work with. But I really do feel that these condensed shapes very helpful in being able to visualize the fretboard, and just they're good to know, And then this last one here would be G Mixolydian. Now this is the only one out of these 5 shapes that has 2 strings containing only 2 notes. That's because we are not having any whole step stretches. If we were to have the same kind of every string has 3 notes except one of these strings would have to have 3 notes, or a whole step stretch, I mean. So like going all the way up here to the 7th fret, which is fine if you can do that, but I just want to keep the visualization to a specific thing. So scrolling further down on this image, we have that first scale shape, that A minor scale shape shown in amongst all the other natural notes being used. Here's the second scale shape, the third scale shape, the 4th, and the 5th. So that's all there just to help you visualize everything a little bit more easily. So we will get into like a similar thing, getting the chord practice or the scale practice done that we did before, but I need you to be able to play some other chords first. That being said, you can get a head start on getting these things memorized. So again, like the first scale shape there, we're taking this A minor pentatonic and then adding in the B's and F's. And in that second scale shape, we're taking the second pentatonic and adding in the B's and F's. And it's basically the idea we got there. So if you like, you don't have to wait to have the whole song type thing to start memorizing this stuff. You can just start right away. Just get this scale shape down. When you can do that from memory, then you start working on the next one. Let's do that again. Once you got that memorized, then you do both, first and then the second. Once you can do that, you start working on the third shape. Once you got that memorized, then you do the second and the third. Whoop. Once you do the second and the third, then you do the first, second, and third. And then you start working on the fourth shape. When you can do that, then you go third into the fourth. And then second, third, and fourth. And then first, second, third, and fourth. Yeah. And then you get the open position one. I think you know where we're going. So then when you can do that, you gotta go high octave, then the open. And then backtrack once again, shape 3, 4, and then the open. And then shape 2, 3, 4, open. And then, did I start with the 2? I think I did. And then start from the beginning, shape 1, 2, 3, 4, open. And then, of course, start getting the fifth shape. And then open to the fifth. Oof. Start that again. And then here. And then the third shape to the fourth, to the open, to the fifth. Anyway, I think you get the idea. Hope you get the idea. So just doing it like that, memorizing that way, I think will really help make sure that you got it all down. All right, anyway, chord. The new chord to get down. Gonna have you work on a B diminished. So if there's any issues with like your hand being able to hold this stuff, let me know. Definitely let me know. This is set up in a way to help you ease into being able to play this chord. It's a funky one. The fingers to use. Ooh, I didn't label chord names here. Shame on me. Basically, I'm going to kind of simplify how I'm naming this. Just think of it going between A minor and B diminished. Even though not all the notes are there, I want you to think of it like going between A minor and B diminished the entire time. Because that's what we're building towards. There we go. Okay, and yeah, the fingers to use are written above at least the first note being fretted in each bar. So like right here, you know, the first time you fret something, you got the second finger there, but it's not saying it again and again. Just like we don't have any fret number, finger numbers up here, just at the very beginning. So even though you very well could play the A minor, those first two notes like this, we don't want to do that because the idea is to train getting into that position by the end and this position by the end. So very important, follow the fingers laid out in order to build the chord the way we want it to be built. So we start with just, the second finger being down, and then we got to go first and second for that next bar. And we go back to the A minor with the second and third. And then we're going to go first, second, fourth for the next bar. And then back to the A minor, now the full one. And then to be diminished, we got the first, second, fourth, and third. So you can put your fingers down one at a time when you're building these things. Totally fine to do. But once you have them down, make sure you keep it down. So don't like take fingers off. Once you put them down, keep them down. So definitely take as much time as you need to on this. Eventually, at least try and play it at 60. But the big thing is, I want you to learn the chords. So I know you already know the A minor. We want to get the B diminished memorized, because that's, again, going to play a role in these diatonic scales. So they go together. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick this however you want. Go. Okay, I think that covers it. So yeah, if you can get scales memorized before next week, fantastic. At least one would be great, but you don't need to get all of them. Great to practice improvisation with. Just putting on A minor backing tracks will work perfect with those scales. So A minor backing tracks work really, really well. All right, I think that's it. So any questions, let me know, and I will see you again next week.